Yeah. So let's you know what? Let's just get right into it. Welcome everybody to GameBusters. This is a podcast from GameLuster.com. If you're new here, every week we pick a different game and we talk about the history and development of that game and just have some fun with it. We're just trying to chill and make everybody forget about the world outside. So yeah, well, I'm Nirav and I have been promoted back to host again.
Because my reign was not great.
Her reign was iron-fisted but short.
The brightest flames bright.
Maybe tin-fisted, maybe, but iron-fisted, that's a little...
They call her the tin-fisted queen. Yeah, but yeah, Ree's also here.
Yo, howdy.
Hey. And it's also her birthday. She's turning, how old are you turning? 4? Is that right?
I'm not a baby anymore. I am a 22-year-old adult. You cannot bully me for being a baby anymore.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. The squeakiest voice ever. Christ.
Kyle, how old are you? I forgot.
I am just about to turn 29.
29. Okay. I thought you were a year older than me. Yeah. Okay. Axel, are you old?
Older than you.
Okay.
No, I will be 45 in July.
Oh yeah, that's more. That is a higher number.
I'm like counting on my fingers right now.
When I'm talking to people, who are younger than me, like the best way to figure out like subtly like how old they are is to ask what their first Pokemon was.
Oh no.
And if it's like, you know, like, oh, like, you know, fucking Chimchar, you're like, oh, okay, whoa. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, so, our special guests today are indeed Axel from GameLuster and Kyle from MTV's The Real World.
Hello.
He was not actually on the show. This is a reference to a previous episode.
I was in the background.
Wait, you were there?
No.
We're gonna add that to the GameLuster lore.
Yeah, to the lore. Okay. Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump into the Hall of Fame Luster and get going. So this will actually be a good one because we're already located on the moon. Today I want everybody to bring with them the best blue alien. I guess preferably from. I didn't say from video games, so I guess it could be from anywhere. But yeah. Huh?
I did not pick one from video games.
No, that's fine. That's what I was saying. Like, I didn't say from video games in there, so we'll let it be from anywhere.
Okay.
Which is good because mine is also not from video games. All right.
Can't even follow your own rules.
I didn't make the rule. That's the whole point. Damn it. All right.
The only
whatever.
rule is that there are no rules apart from the 2 that we've set.
All right, Ree, you go first, and you get a birthday bonus.
Hey, okay, good, because like mine is stretching the limit of the questions so bad. But I did it anyway. So Nirav, this is a callback to our Final Fantasy X video. Do you remember the guy called Seymour who had the funny hair and was totally not a villain?
Yeah, I do.
So because of the fact that apparently his species is classed as an alien, and the fact that he has blue hair, I'm gonna make him my one. Like I said, I'm really stretching the definition of blue alien here. But I really just wanted to take an opportunity to laugh at how funny his hair is. In general, he's part of the Guado species, I think. According to some wiki that I was on. That sounds like
a Star Wars, is that right?
It does sound like a Star Wars, doesn't it? But according to the wiki I was on, the Guado are an alien race. Their distinguishing features being stupid anime villain hair and some long-ass nails. So, yeah. And also he's called Seymour, and I find that hilarious for like this big bad villain. Yeah, I'm just.
Does he have like a villain name at least, like a Voldemort?
No, he's literally just Seymour. Yeah. That's his only thing.
Seymour Marvel or Riddle.
It's like somebody from Beetlejuice 5 saying, "Yes, the name Ford Prefect will blend in perfectly well."
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, he's my pick.
Okay. All right. I'll just put in Seymour Butts. All right. Kyle, what do you have?
Okay, I'm coming with the Experiment 626, aka Stitch.
Oh shit,
from
that's
Lilo
a
and
good
Stitch.
fucking poll. I forgot.
So, I mean, he is a genetically modified experiment, but alien made, therefore it counts.
Yeah, it definitely does.
He's immortal, doesn't age at all. He's supposed to be bulletproof, although I don't know if he was actually shot at all.
He's shot with lasers.
Okay, yeah. But by physical bullets, I'm not sure if that
Yeah,
would affect him or not. And he's extremely strong.
Yeah, Stitch actually was sort of like the last experiment. Like he's like the ultimate life form. He's sort of the Shadow the Hedgehog of the Disney canon.
Another Shadow reference. Less than 10 minutes in. That is a record.
It's definitely not a record.
An added bonus, he's also very cute.
That's true. He is very cute. Lilo and Stitch is wildly underrated. It is very good.
I agree. I completely agree.
Honestly, did anyone watch the TV show like when you were a kid? Like it was actually pretty good.
Like I have. Yeah, I remember enjoying it.
I remember 625, the sandwich alien. Was this power sandwiches? There was a fucking
that's the
Flash
best power
game.
you can
No,
have.
there was a Flash game we played all the time on DisneyChannel.com, and you would go there, and you would fire up like 625 Sandwich Rush, and like Gantu would like throw pieces of sandwich at you, and you would have to like catch them and make a big sandwich. Game of the year.
That game is canon, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm very happy about that. Axel, what do you have?
It may seem a little not quite alienish, but it definitely works if you think about it. From the Destiny series, Commander Zavala.
I need to look up a picture of him. I know Destiny vaguely. Commander what?
Zavala. Zavala.
Okay. All right. He is blue. I'll give you that.
Yes.
Tell me about him.
He is one of the Awoken, as evidenced by the blue hair and blue skin rather, and funny looking eyes. In the Destiny canon, the Awoken were originally human settlers or colonists who were trying to escape Earth during the collapse. When the darkness came in and everything just went to hell. Mm-hmm. There is an indeterminate gap between an event that changed the Awoken, or changed those colonists into the Awoken, and the events of Destiny. You know, it may have been centuries, it may have been millennia. Nobody knows. So technically speaking, yes, he is an alien. As far as I know, he is not one of the original colonists, but somebody who came back to Earth after the event, in maybe a generation or two.
Yeah, I think honestly, if we want to get technical about it, really an alien is anyone who's living on a planet they aren't from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And you know, the fact that he's voiced by Lance Reddick, who does just an absolutely fabulous job with an occasionally one-note character, is definitely a plus to be considered.
All right, nice. Okay, and then I guess I'll do mine. So I'm gonna just put a visual aid in the Discord for you because I feel like some people may not be able to call this particular character to mind right away. But if you remember the song "Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die," in the music video, Eiffel 65. Yes, thank you, the French techno group. This blue alien is sort of the star of the video. He comes to Earth in a spaceship. I think there's actually I actually have a picture of his space travel. He comes with a friend. He arrives and helps the band sort of make this good song. And they sort of rock out here on the stage, and I think this is the year 2001. So, yeah, if I don't know that I need to say a lot more about this one.
No, I mean, what
is
can
there a
be
behind?
said?
is there a behind the scenes where they show the alien dropping X and saying, "Give me a beat"?
There is something like that because they do sort of multiply. And here's another image of that.
God, you came prepared. Christ.
Yeah.
Also, what the hell were you doing this week that made you think of this music video?
When do you not think of this music?
But yeah, I don't know what to say. I like that's the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. I think actually I was like on my Spotify shuffle. There's like a cover of this song, like a metal cover of this song that came on, and I was like, oh, the Blue Guys.
Those little blue guys.
Yeah. All right. So like I'm just gonna write Blue Dabba D Alien.
We'll know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, Reed, you actually get a birthday bonus. You're gonna get 1 vote built into your thing right there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And
we love democracy.
And that's my $0 birthday present to you.
God, imagine if like actual elections were like that. Like, oh, it's on your birthday, so you get like an extra 1 million votes. There you go.
Has anyone here watched Community?
I have.
Okay, do you remember the Meow Meow Beans episode, like where everyone has to like rate each other on the app, and like they become like different like classes, like the 5s and the 4s and the 3s and everything. There's like one of the guys, Jonathan Banks, his character is like he's like, I've got a strategy. I'm gonna tell everybody it's my birthday. No one's gonna downvote a guy on his birthday. And then like you see like 3 weeks later there's a time skip and he's like in the lounge with the 5s, like at the top of the tower. In the new society, and he's like sitting there and he's like, I don't know, all I know is it's my birthday. Just like 3 weeks later. I always think that if that social credit thing like from Black Mirror becomes real, like that's gonna be my move, is to just like keep insisting that it's my birthday and like hope people rate me well. Okay, that was a bit of a tangent, sorry. Where are your votes gonna go though, Reek?
Okay, I don't even... It goes without saying that the Blue Dabba D aliens are getting one. I love it. Yeah. Other one's gonna go to Stitch, because you remind me of Lilo and Stitch, and that makes me happy.
I know. I just like remembering that Lilo and Stitch exists. I hate that... It's like, okay, I get... Those are called the second Disney Dark Ages, but like... Because the movies didn't make that much money, but like they were still good. Like Emperor's New Groove was a good movie, you know? Like...
Yeah, that's the thing.
I remember watching that. That is a good one.
The poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Poison that Cusco will take. All right, Axel. Or sorry, I think Kyle, did I skip you? Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna give one to Stitch because he's just so cute.
Hannah means family. Family, no one gets left behind. I did it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we don't even need Tim here anymore for his impressions.
This video is gonna get copyright struck by Disney for that. What was your other vote?
My other vote... I was convinced. I'm gonna go with Commander Zavala.
Oh, okay. Nice. Good to get that out there. All right, Axel, where are your vote's gonna go?
I'm gonna put one in for Zavala, and I'm gonna give one for Seymour.
Wow. Okay.
It seems like okay. Why not?
Yeah, make him an alien.
He is, barely a blue alien, but it can work.
Okay, well,
his blue hair. So
I'm gonna give one to the Blue Dabba D alien because that was the deepest cut I think I've ever made, and then, but I'm definitely gonna give one to Stitch, making him the winner. What does he say? What's his like catchphrase? Like, let's go.
I'm just gonna let you handle the impressions.
Yeah,
I don't want to be associated with it.
I don't remember the film very well. Okay, So let's go ahead and get out of here. Welcome Stitch to the moon. I mean, which is easy for him. He can breathe out there, I think, already. So he's actually not gonna have any problems up here on the moon at the Hall of Fameluster.
We didn't commit murder like last time. Oh no, we sort of found a loophole.
No.
Yeah.
Nature killed him.
Yeah, we did something, but then nature ran its course.
And who can blame us for the march of time, really?
Yeah.
The courts, though. The courts will do that, and we need to lawyer up immediately.
Oh yeah, we did a call to action for anyone who's experienced in moon law. We have so far not filled that vacancy, so yeah.
Yeah, the moon law position is still open. Kyle, you're not good at moon law, are you, by chance?
No, I haven't gone to law school yet.
Yet?
I'm just gonna go major in moon law.
Okay.
I'm gonna fill that vacancy someday.
The worst part of this is I keep feeling like I'm gonna have to turn back to Elon for advice on this, and I just don't want to do that. Like, who else would have a moon lawyer on retainer than him?
Jeff Bezos.
True.
That's true.
We'll have to shell out to another billionaire. I mean, he's now the second richest, so he needs the work. Bless him.
Yeah, I feel so sad. I saw how he just gave up and retired. He said, I'm the second richest guy now. Can't do it. Might as well give up.
This is the end.
Let's help a guy while he's down. Let's give him a job.
I don't know if anyone saw, but he has, like, even though he's stepping down as the CEO, he's becoming the chairman of the board of directors.
I think he's still retained. I think he was already there. He's just retaining.
Oh, he's just retaining that seat. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Let's jump into Bustums. Okay, so this week we are going to be talking about Mass Effect. So we are going to be mostly concentrating on the first game and just sort of the development of it. But once we get to like the story and characters and stuff later, feel free to talk about the later ones and stuff. So yeah, we'll jump into it. So actually, did anyone stop for a second? Did anyone like read through this outline?
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn it. Okay. Never mind. I can't believe you guys did the reading. Okay, so, so Mass Effect, this actually is a really nice follow-up, by the way, to our episode from last week, which was about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, because...
I was about to say, we're actually, we'll have to do it for every game. Now, every game that was inspired by Mass Effect, we now have to find one and do it on that.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just inspired by the director of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Casey Hudson, was also the director of this game. So just following that up, they released that in 2003, and then Hudson and his team at Bioware began work right after they finished the PC port of KOTOR, and that went out in 2004. So they decided to make this game an Xbox 360 exclusive in 2004, which was sort of ambitious, I guess, considering I don't think they had announced the 360 at that time. Yeah, they were kind of they were pretty much of the mindset of like, okay, like the technology is going to be so advanced for this game that like whatever the next Xbox is, like it's got to go there, So they began work, and the team was 130 people. They were in pre-production for about 8 months, fresh off of making Star Wars. So they were like, they had a lot of that, they had a lot of blue aliens on the brain. Oh, I just remembered another good blue alien, the fucking Cantina ones. They're like ba 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 da ba.
No,
are they blue?
No, they're not.
Those are not blue. No.
They're not blue.
Ooh.
Damn it.
Cy Snoodles.
Fake Star
yes.
Wars fans.
Or no, Max Rebo. Yes, he's blue, but the.
What about Watto, the guy with the weird nose who flies?
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
blue?
he's blue.
He's blues. Yeah, but
Is he?
Yeah, but he's kind of a dick.
Yeah. He's not a very
Why did
good
I pick
alien.
him? Fuck. No, I love Watto. He makes me laugh. There's a Watto in KOTOR 2. We didn't mention that. There was a member of Watto's species in KOTOR 2 and had the exact same voice.
Did you just call him A Watto?
A Watto, yes. A singular Watto. I don't know what the species is called.
Oh, you're a terrible Star Wars nerd. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and fill us in on that?
Yeah, they're Toydarians.
I would never have guessed that. George Lucas, what are you smoking? It's like how actually, while we're just quickly on a tangent about George Lucas being on crack or something, that music you just referenced, Nirav.
Uh-huh.
That's called jizz music.
Yeah, I actually found that out yesterday, weirdly enough. Completely separately from this. And I lost my mind. You can look it up. It's real.
It is. And,
Um,
and George Lucas has no awareness.
no. Okay. Yeah, what are we talking? Mass Effect? Yeah, whatever. It used Unreal Engine 3 for the base work, but they actually did a lot of their own stuff on this. So even though Unreal Engine 3 was sort of the basis of this, they didn't use the assets or scripts provided in the engine too much. They ended up building all their own assets. They said actually way more time was spent on the programming and engine work than on the actual game Mass Effect. Probably about 2/3 of development time was spent on just getting this engine like working, and then they were like, all right, throw those aliens into it, go.
Shit, yeah, gotta make a game.
So the technology at the time that they did present in Mass Effect was like pretty revolutionary. It was a pretty like high budget affair, for that time period.
Yeah, and I think it completely shows as well. I mean, like, I know we sort of laugh at Bioware animations now, but back then, I mean, that was amazing. The detail in conversations, it really shows that they spent so much time working on that.
Yeah. So so this is interesting to me. The story of Mass Effect was actually created when they did their outline as a trilogy. They created one whole story, and then they split off the first third of it and found an ending, much like how Tolkien did Lord of the Rings. It was almost retroactively made into a trilogy after they kind of created the whole story. So this was actually apparently the subject of much internal debate at BioWare. There was like a squad that was like, oh, every like RPG is about like creating your own character. And the other half was like, we can't tell a compelling story in the way we want to, in this cinematic way, without an established protagonist. And obviously, the established protagonist people won out. To my knowledge, this is one of the first times this was done in like one of these big RPGs, having you like actually play a known character. So yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, how would in your brain quickly, like, I mean, how would Mass Effect be if Commander Shepard was somebody that like you had to make and mold and like to your liking, like another RPG?
So, off the top of my head, I'm like immediately trying to compare it to Dragon Age Origins, which was released a little bit later, and doesn't have an established protagonist. And those games definitely have very different vibes. God, it's hard to imagine because you just have to restructure, I think, a lot of the story, because with Dragon Age, because you're not an established character, you spend so much of your time establishing that character through like really complex dialogue and everything. But with Mass Effect, they're able to speed things up a little bit, and there's like a degree of it. God, it's hard. I think the first one had more freedom over what your Shepard was like than definitely the third one. I'm usually a fan of not having established protagonists, but I think maybe with this particular story they want to tell, maybe it did work better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree, because I can't imagine. I mean, I can't even really imagine like the differences that it would be if he wasn't an established character already. But I don't know. They did a good job at making me care about Commander Shepard, so I don't really have any complaints about having him already be established.
I think for certain values of established, then yeah, he works, and the choices that you get when you first create Shepard, I mean, they seem a little inconsequential at first. I mean, you pick his background, you pick his or her background, you pick where they were born, how they grew up, some notable event that happens in their lives right before they get into the N7 program. And it's not, it's it is semi-established. Shepard is semi-established. He exists, but there are still enough potential variations that you do get a sense of, okay, yeah, I can play around with this. It does kind of prep you mentally to get into actual role-playing a little bit. It's like, okay, what would my character do in this situation?
Yeah.
I think... Sorry, yeah.
No.
So yeah, I think everyone does have their own unique shepherd. I can't think of many games that sort of try and do both approaches and then do it really well. I can't really fault how Mass Effect did it. I think they tried to do the same with Dragon Age Inquisition with the Inquisitor. They were a little bit more established-ish. Definitely in Dragon Age 2, you played as Hawk, and you can see they were trying to make it work there. But honestly, I think it comes down to, you've got to stick to one and then stick with it. And I think that's what other RPGs have sort of need to learn from Mass Effect.
Yeah, I think I mean, like, The Witcher 3 is like the best example of having like an established protagonist that you don't influence like what kind of character they are, like
Yeah.
Like Geralt is always the same guy, and it doesn't really like matter what choices you make. Like you can choose to do X or Y or Z sometimes, but like really at the end of the day, like he's the same guy. But yeah, I agree. I think that it's interesting that they were able to walk that line pretty well in this. Yeah. All right. So yeah, let me see what I was looking at here. Yeah, so like I said, they wanted to make the established protagonist they said to create a level of intensity and cinematic power. That was the quote. Do you feel like they achieved cinematic power?
In a cheesy sense, yeah. I kind of do. Yeah, I mean, when I think of Mass Effect, I think of those, like the scenes towards the end of the game where you're like jumping onto a hovercraft to narrowly escape death and shit like that. And sort of like this attachment you have to Shepard. Yeah, I'd say they pulled it off. They were going for like a sort of space opera vibe, I think, and I think it worked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can see the Star Wars influence all through this thing. Even influence from the prequels too, like included. Lots of talk of intergalactic trade routes.
But good.
It's good now.
And alien bar scenes. Can't forget those alien bar scenes.
Oh, that's true. All right. Yeah, so choices and consequences were high priority. The developers didn't want the players to follow predetermined paths. So due to the numerous dialogue options, they created this dialogue wheel, which is now pretty famous and memeable, to help the players identify which responses belong to like which emotions almost. They're like, this is the sad response, but like this is the angry response, etc. But yeah, they did use digital actors for this. So they did. It wasn't really motion capture as much, but they did like use the reference of capturing people's faces and digitizing those to capture the movements. So that was kind of like they really wanted the facial expressions and body movement to like speak for the character too, in the way that like a real person would. And I think Ryu said earlier that they did a really good job with that for the time. Like it was kind of like really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, my memories of Mass Effect 1 are almost... because the combat hasn't aged perfectly. So the thing that I love most about Mass Effect 1 is just the long-ass conversations that you could get into with the crewmates. With Mass Effect 2 and 3, they move towards, like, you have to hit certain triggers before they really have anything to say to you. But in Mass Effect 1, there was a lot that you could say without hitting those triggers. Like, you'd still get, like, unique conversations after each mission, but I feel like you got to spend a lot more time. It was less cutscene-like. It was more just sort of, chatting with them, as you would in, like, other RPGs. And, yeah, I played it for the first time in 2015, I think, and I did not think that, the animations, the facial animations had aged poorly at all. I think that's one of the aspects of the game that has aged so well. It's not amazing, obviously, but there's enough little nuances there, and it's such a leap from KOTOR. It's insane. It's like, I don't know how, it's crazy how they identified that really good thing from KOTOR, which was chatting with crewmates, and managed to just evolve it so much for the Xbox 360. It's crazy.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to talk about, which I found very interesting, is that I actually learned this in my in grad school in my nuclear physics class. We actually talked about this, and that was where I sort of was like, whoa. So there is a real physics principle called the mass defect. I don't know how much nuclear physics does everyone know?
Enough to hum the tune.
Okay.
Little to none over here.
Yeah. So nuclear binding energy is basically when you fire one nucleus at another, for the purpose of fission. The nucleus of that atom has to be like disassembled basically in order to break it into its component parts. Like there requires an input of energy when during nuclear binding to make the nuclei bind to each other. And so you have to there is an amount of energy that goes into this process basically, right? Now, when you get the resulting or the resulting atom or molecule or whatever, when the two nuclei bind to each other, there is a smaller mass there than there was from the sum of the parts. So think of it like this: nucleus 1 is fired at nucleus 2 with E energy, and the resulting atom is the weight of nucleus 1 plus nucleus 2, but the energy's gone. So the energy, I'm sure everyone knows E equals mc squared. But yeah, all that's talking about is that E as in energy is the mass times the speed of light squared. So this is the conversion rate between mass and energy. That's what the equation is for. Even following this equation, this mass still disappears, and we don't know where it went. And that's still like a mystery of physics. So like when you perform nuclear binding, there is a small amount of energy, because everyone knows about the first law of physics, right? That like energy can't be created or destroyed.
No, thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics. Thank you so much. I'm actually sorry. You're right. I was thinking of what was it? Object in motion stays in motion. Is that first rule for physics?
That's Newton's first law.
Newton's first law. Yeah, that's what I was mixing up with.
And
thank you.
There's also the law of conservation of matter in chemistry, that matter cannot be destroyed, just changed.
Yeah. And like all those things, and really it's just a derivative, because like if mass can be converted into energy and vice versa, then if you can't create mass, you can't create energy. So anyway, the long story short, this missing mass that disappears during the nuclear binding process is called the mass defect. So in the world of Mass Effect, the difference in technology is that scientists were able to find and harness the energy that's gone missing during the mass defect process, and that becomes mass effect. And so that's what has led to the advancement of technology in that world and the rapid expansion of space technology.
God damn it, like IRL scientists. It's not that hard. They outlined it in the intro. Come on.
I always every time I watch like Full Metal Alchemist at the beginning, they're like, this is equivalent exchange. And I'm like, yeah, why aren't scientists watching this? It's so easy.
Like Elon Musk, I know you've played Mass Effect. Come on, there's no way that you haven't. Talk to your science people.
He played it in his fucking car too, on top of it.
Come on, I know that he wants them blue aliens. There's no way he would not leave Grimes for a blue alien. So, come on. Make it
Especially
work.
the one from the Blue People avatar? Come on. Come on. Also, I don't know if anyone remembers, but those aliens are also canonically like 11 feet tall. So...
Bold of you to assume we remember anything about that film.
Yeah. The only reason I remember it is because of the YouTuber Jenny Nicholson, who is very, very good. Everyone please go watch her deep dive video of the Avatar Park in Disney World. It is fantastic. Okay, so yeah, anyway, I remember being in my physics class and like learning about the mass defect, and I was like, but Mass Effect! Oh! You know? So yeah, anyway, I thought that was neat. So, the combat originally in this game was identical to KOTOR. It was a mix of turn-based and real-time stuff, but like, with different guns, right? They ended up redoing this like over and over again, and the combat ended up being like sort of... They described it as like real-time combat with a turn-based interface. I don't know. How would you guys describe the combat in this first game?
Clunky.
Yeah, it does sound like it.
It kind of does take away from it whenever you have to like pause the battle to pick like a different power up to do or something like that. So it didn't work completely for me, but at the same time I do see what they were going for.
Yeah, it's interesting because BioWare's rival at the time, Bethesda, would actually, with Fallout 3, sort of try the same thing. And I don't know, like, from what okay, I'll go ahead and outline. Like, I haven't really played Mass Effect too much. I did play about 2 or 3 hours of the first game on my PC a few years ago. I had to use a lot of mods to get it to run. And I played for like maybe 2 or 3 hours, and it was right when I got to the fucking Land Rover, and I was like, I'm not doing this, and I turned it off.
That is the point where I think a lot of people that haven't played it before just give up. I mean, I persevered because I got the whole trilogy on PS3, so I was like, okay, I've got 2 other games here I need to play as well. Let's just power for it. And I like the conversation system enough to sort of power for it. So to me, it was like a visual novel with like annoying intervals of combat.
I was actually very interested in the characters. I thought the writing was really good and everything. So I'm excited to do the Legendary Edition because I heard they like overhauled the Land Rover and stuff and the combat as well. So, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Driving the Mako was either really good or an exercise in frustration. There were certain planetary maps that you touch down, you have to go from point A to point B. And it was, it was just butter smooth. There were other planets you'd touch down, and you get into combat with like a thresher maw, and it's like, God, this is tedious as hell. Because you're
now, Kyle. Sorry, I remember now, Kyle. You claimed earlier this week that the planet scanning is the best part of Mass Effect. Would you expand on that?
I wouldn't say the best part of it, but I actually enjoyed it. Now, I was talking about whenever you're scanning the planets from the galaxy map, though, not the ones where you have to just drive around on the planet, just picking up random resources. I liked the scanning from the air.
Yeah. Actually, having not really played too much of this, and I guess you've or all of you may have played both. Like, how do you feel like BioWare's approach with Mass Effect 1 versus Bethesda's approach with Fallout 3 to like fusing real-time and turn-based combat like that? Like, which one do you think worked out better?
I definitely prefer Fallout 3's. I'm not saying it's great. I would, if I had to choose between playing a whole game with one system, I would choose Fallout 3's.
Go ahead.
I would actually go the other way. I would say Mass Effect. If only because with Mass Effect you're pausing not to shoot but to do something different. To perform a special action that is a tech action, that is a biotics action, something that is not just basic shooting. And when you get down to it, the VAT system in Fallout 3 is just a slightly refined, almost a dare, if you will, for your RNG. It's like, okay, you've got X% chance to hit this limb, or you can just spam the trigger. But there's nothing unique about it. There's not any, do a disarm, or blow up, do a flesh wound. It's take your shot and hope you hit.
Yeah, there's a lot more variety in the Mass Effects one. It's
okay. What you're describing to me actually makes me think a little bit of Final Fantasy VII remakes, like combat system with the like it's like a real time like fighting thing, but then like you have to constantly be like going and like opening menus as an overlay over like the live combat and like surfing through them and like choosing actions to load up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did that pretty well in 7 Remake. Oh my god, have I said on this podcast before something that shocks everyone about my first playthrough of Mass Effect 1, and that is that I didn't use a single ability because I didn't know they existed. So I purely played it as a shooter. I was
like a brute
like
force.
I was like 15 or 16. I was not very I don't want to say not very smart. I wasn't very good at games back then. I'd basically spent my entire childhood just playing like Wii games and GameCube games. And then suddenly I had this like Saturday job and I bought a PS3 with my wages and I finally had like all these games that everyone had been going out to play, but I just had no common sense with them whatsoever. So I got to the final boss and then like I must have pressed one of the triggers or something. I was like, what the fuck's this menu? I've never seen it before. And it was just all these abilities. I was like, damn, okay, that's handy. And then I did the final boss really easily. So, yeah, I accidentally made it way harder for myself. I can remember, like, getting stuck on these bits again and again and again. And in hindsight, it was just because I was probably meant to be using abilities.
This to me reads like, I've just finished a Pokemon game and I just found out about the type chart.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's incredible. All right, we got to keep rolling here. So the developers wanted to feature like an actual galaxy that could be explored beyond the core locations. So, a large team manually built several parts of the galaxy, and they were able to expand that playable space significantly by using all these tools they developed in their programming stages. So, their major inspirations were the games Starflight and Star Control, and these encouraged the team to create the M35 Mako, everyone's favorite, for exploring the game's uncharted worlds and develop game mechanics to survey planets from space. So I think we talked about the Mako a good bit. Love him. Love his work. Drew Karpyshyn, who was the lead writer on KOTOR, actually resumed his role for this game. So back again. One of the biggest challenges he faced was the volume that he was required to write to support the multiple dialogue paths and story outcomes. So it took them 3 years to get everything into this game. It took them 3 years to write this game, basically, on top of all the other stuff, right? It's pretty huge, but it featured 400,000 words and more than 20,000 lines of spoken dialogue. So that is roughly equivalent to about 20 movies or 5 novels.
Bloody hell.
So for reference, Fallout 4 has 111,000 lines of dialogue. Mass Effect 1 features nearly 4 times that much.
Oh, Todd Howard must have been crying. That's why Fallout 4 took so long. He just had to cram more dialogue in so he could... Well, he probably didn't even beat that.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting, though, like that... from what I understand, Mass Effect 2 and 3 also had significantly less dialogue lines. I don't think they reined in the scope of Mass Effect 1 while they were doing it. They were like, more, you know? Right, you know, they were doing more of a write smarter, not harder thing later on.
Yeah, we'll go with that theory.
Well, as far as condensing the dialogue, sure.
Oh, sorry.
No, I know. I've not heard amazing things about Mass Effect 3, is all I was going to say. But
I think it's not so... I mean, one thing that I love about Mass Effect 1 is that they had neutral dialogue options if you didn't want to do a Paragon or Renegade one, and if I think I'm right in saying that was gone by Mass Effect 2. It was definitely gone by Mass Effect 3. And that's sort of when they sort of... Because then you really just had to fit yourself into like one of these categories. Like, you are a Paragon or a Renegade, but yet there was less nuance. So while I'm sure the writers probably appreciated not having cramped hands all the time, it was nice to have a lot more nuance in the first game's dialogue.
Yeah. So yeah, some of their main inspirations, they said, were Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Blade Runner, Starship Troopers, and they said their main inspiration was Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
What?
I didn't really know what to do with that. I don't know if one of you could sort of expound on that.
I've seen that movie one time, like over a decade ago, so I could not help on this at all.
I've seen it a couple of times, and aside from the theme of a crooked government and research scientists trying to save the world / universe, and I'm not seeing where they're getting.
Yeah, I don't know. They said like this was our main inspiration for Mass Effect. So it's like, are you sure it's not? Are you sure it's not Star Wars? No, it's Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
I can definitely see like the Blade Runner influence.
Yeah,
That's the movie I'm most familiar with out of this list, at least.
Okay. Yeah, so the music was composed by Jack Wall, who had previously done BioWare's masterpiece Jade Empire. Has anyone played Jade Empire, by the way?
I've played a
really
bit of
fun
Jade
game.
Empire. It's a
played the
fun
demo.
game. Yeah.
It's a nice game.
That one is the one BioWare game that I would absolutely kill to see a good sequel for. And
yeah, or even like a good like remake with like that I could play on a modern hardware.
It's just weird how they've sort of just left it behind.
Yeah, it's a weird like I don't know why they left that IP behind. I don't know.
Because 2K Games is holding on to it.
Really?
Yeah, that was like one of the few titles that BioWare put out that they did not go through EA with, and this was before EA bought them up.
Had bought them, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. All right, so this game, Mass Effect, was announced at the X05 show in 2005 as a Xbox 360 exclusive, coming only here. Don't look for it anywhere else. So it ended up releasing in 2007 in North America. This was funny. EB Games in Australia broke the street date and released this game 4 days early because they got too excited about it.
Understandable.
Your Honor, we were too hyped.
Yeah, so the PC version came out in 2008 with some interface upgrades, and there was an interesting thing here. There was like a long battle with the fans because originally they announced the PC version was going to use an always online DRM. But
why?
Well, because to stop the cheating in the game.
In the single player game,
in the single player game.
But they did listen to fans and removed it before launching. And in 2012, finally, it was ported to PS3 with another few set of improvements. So there wasn't any deal with Xbox. I did look into this. There was no exclusivity deal with Xbox for Mass Effect. They just didn't like the PlayStation.
Which is valid. No one really liked the PS3 back then.
Yeah, I mean,
this
I
was
think
actually one of my main
aware...
influences in getting a 360 over a
Ooh,
PS3.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, like one thing I think we've seen constantly from developers was that due to the weird architecture, like the PS3 was very hard to develop for, which is the same problem the Wii U suffered from too. Yeah, there's always one, I think, every generation. Not anymore, I guess, because everything is just a computer put into a different shaped box now, so whatever. But yeah, so I guess we're at the story here. So I'm rather than like recounting the whole story or whatever, which wouldn't be of any use to anyone, I was curious about what you guys think the themes and the morals of the story are. Like, what is it about in a grand sense? It's about the blue girl.
I'm gonna admit this is always my worst part about book reports was finding the greater meaning. So
yeah,
just ignore anything that comes out of my mouth for this answer.
I think because it's like.
Sorry, is Ashoka from Star Wars? Is she also blue?
No.
She's orange.
Am I thinking of the wrong one?
Are you thinking of the one in KOTOR 1?
Maybe the one with the tentacle hair.
Yeah, Mission.
The two big tentacles.
Mission Vale.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I don't know the Star Wars.
But like, if I had to say the theme, I think it's just a lot because I think through their own admission they said it was meant to be a pastiche of sci-fi, and by that that's a charitable word for it because they do nick a bunch of stuff from all sorts of sci-fi that exist. Like Battlestar Galactica. Has anyone watched that? I enjoyed that. They nick a whole lot. They basically just take that and use that as the whole Quarian versus Geth war, and that's that's got its own morals about creating sentient, don't create sentient life and then force it into servitude. Then you've got the whole story between Shepard and the Council, which is sort of a warning against this bureaucracy, which is more concerned with image than actually getting stuff done. And then you've got all the characters that have their own little side plots. In this game, it's a lot more grounded. Like, your two companions of the most to say are Ashley and Caden, who are both humans. Caden's got his own thing about how his biotics training when he was a kid was really unethical and very, very militaristic, and he accidentally killed someone. Ashley is a space racist, I guess. And
a
it's sort of
spacist?
about she's a spacist, and it's about her sort of struggling to adapt to change, or like dealing with like prejudice because she feels like because her family was sort of blacklisted in the military, if I remember correctly. So Mass Effect has a fuck ton of themes, basically, is what I'm getting at. And that's, I think, is the benefit through doing a sci-fi as a video game. If you're doing it as a film, like Blade Runner, you have to sort of stick with one cohesive theme. But with Mass Effect, they could have a different theme with every character, and I think it came together really nice.
Yeah. As far as larger themes, I would say that there is... there is certainly an overview of the cyclical nature of history and the universe. There is nothing new under the sun or suns. This has all happened before. It will happen again. And the rhythm is the same. It's the fine details that change. But I also think there's a sense of how cycles can be broken. Or how just because you have done this before doesn't mean you have to do it this way this time. So it never goes into any great detail about where the Reapers come from, where they, who built them, how they came into being, who programmed them. It may, they may be relics left over from a war similar to Fred Saberhagen's Berserker, or it may be they just popped out of some alternate universe and came into ours and said, "Oh, organic life. Well, let's clean this up right now."
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I think that there's a lot of different stuff that you can get out of this, basically. And I mean, of course, that's the point that they were going for. Like, I mean, this is a story that you're supposed to kind of piece together as you go, by making these decisions, and like perhaps there's something different to take away from each of those ways you might play it. So let's call it a pastiche.
Which is a polite way of them saying we liked a whole
cobbled
bunch of
this
sci-fi
together, yeah.
things, and we took bits from all of them.
Right. Here I have a note here that says do a joke about the elevators. Does anyone want to take that?
Yeah. The elevators are thinly disguised loading screens. And it's a very, very thin disguise. And it's a thin disguise that has grown into the industry basically said, "Oh, hey, yeah, this is a good thing." So you see it in Destiny and Destiny 2 when you're traveling between planets. You see it in the more recent Deus Ex games where you're traveling on the train or walking along the train tracks. And it's like, oh yeah, you're loading. Yeah. It's showing you walking, it's showing activity, and it's making you think, oh yeah, I'm still in the world. And it's like, no, you're loading.
No.
Brings a good new meaning to elevator music too.
Oh yeah.
Like some of the little elevator songs still pop into my head today.
From just a good piece of good news is in the remaster trilogy that's coming out. They said that the average load time for the elevators has been reduced from 54 seconds to 14 seconds.
Holy shit, 54 seconds. That's how long
just
we were
That
waiting.
was the average
elevators
load
up.
time for the elevator, yeah.
See, I knew it was long, but I think I just brain wiped exactly how long it was.
I definitely think that the news bits that played kind of helped a little bit. When you were always hearing about the Hanar only presentation of Hamlet and whatnot.
So many times.
Yeah, but past a certain point, the messages and the music and even the little side conversations that occasionally happen during the elevator rides, it got dull. It's like, okay, we get it.
That's fair. Now, on the other hand, somebody tell me some good notes about the romances and the good romance in this, because everyone, I mean, like, being somebody who's not particularly into this series, like, I mean, like, I feel like I hear about like romancing these different characters constantly. Like, that seems to be a very focal point of this game.
Yeah, it is everyone's favorite point of the game. I think. If I mean, I will be completely honest. I got into the game because I found out about the romances, and I hadn't played a game with romances before, so I thought that's a neat feature. Just so happened it came bundled with a really nice sci-fi game as well, so that was lucky. It
makes you care so much more.
Yeah, I had like a very controversial romance opinion in the Mass Effect community, which is that I romanced Caden and I stayed with him throughout the entire trilogy for some reason. Don't ask me why. I'm not sure why I did either. I still enjoy his romance. I did it again, and there's something about it in Mass Effect 1 that I just really like. You spend ages, because he's sort of meant to be this slightly more like senior soldier than you. He's seen more shit. He's thought about it all. He ruminates on everything, so he's quite calm. And it's just nice at the end of a mission to like sort of philosophically discuss stuff. That makes him sound boring as shit, and he kind of is. So I don't blame anyone who I don't make. But I like the boring. I enjoyed the boring very much. It was a nice change of pace from doing this big space battle to then just like chillfully talking about him. Yeah. And Garrus is the more popular for, I think, female players. And I can see why he's certainly more exciting. But there's just something lovely about Caden. I don't know what it is, but I love him.
Now, in the original Mass Effect, you didn't have a whole lot of options. You really didn't. You had Caden if you were female, you had Ashley if you were male, and you had Liara if you weren't particular. That Liara was the only alien romanceable in the first game. Later games, you could hook up with Tala, you could hook up with Garrus, but that first time they made it very limited. And to some extent, it makes sense, but at the same time, there's also a feeling of, why does this feel vaguely artificial? I mean, the dialogue itself flowed fairly naturally, but the romance options themselves were like, okay. It wasn't, wow, I found the love of my life. It was more, Netflix and chill.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Okay. Very cool. So quickly, I want to ask, what were you guys like? Again, very quick thoughts on the sequels.
Okay.
Combat-wise, very better.
Very better.
Very better. Yeah, that made sense.
Yeah, love Mass Effect 2, love Mass Effect 3. Andromeda is bad.
Yeah. No, the combat definitely got tightened up a little bit in Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. The actual storyline for Mass Effect 2 and 3, the storyline, just overall was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But oh god, the endings.
Oh boy.
That final ending on Mass Effect 3, it's like, really?
I think
so,
I can't wait until a
this...
Mass Effect 3 episode.
Right, I've heard this maligned many times. So this is just my understanding, is that like they made the game, the ending was something that was universally reviled. Then they retroactively added a DLC that had it sort of an alternate ending that made people say, okay, this is okay, but still not great.
They just extended some scenes, as far as I know. You got to like actually say goodbye to your love interest. I know that was a change they made.
Yeah.
What? You know what? No, actually, don't tell me. I'm gonna find out on my own.
Yeah. It's
play it unpatched. Go in, Nirav.
I think. Well, the main issue is that they said that there wasn't gonna be just like an ABC ending.
And then it was.
And then we ended up with an ABC ending. Exactly an ABC ending.
It wasn't ABC. It was red, blue, green. So, well done, Bioware.
So technically they didn't lie.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys want to see in Mass Effect 5 then? Are you wanting it to continue and improve on what was presented in Andromeda? You want a fresh reboot? Do you want to come back to the trilogy characters and story? What do you want?
No.
No?
Just do all of it. More Mass Effect.
Okay. I know, as much as I loathed and despised the ending for Mass Effect 3, and it was objectively terrible, all things being equal, that story has been told. All right? That story is done. Those characters have ridden off into the sunset. Let them be on their own. Let them pass out of the universe. Let somebody else inherit the mess that is basically left over.
The Mess Effect.
And I would like to see a good balance of political thriller, high stakes action, and spacefaring, space opera. I would like to see that because they made it really convincing. They did put a lot of work into their world building. I did like that a lot, and if they can keep that same quality, that would be cool. But for the love of God, two things: one, not Andromeda, and two, for all that is holy, ditch Frostbite. Ditch the
That's the
Frostbite.
engine,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Stop
ditch the
making
Frostbite.
RPGs in
Yes.
Frostbite, please.
It is
I beg.
not. It is not meant for it. It's a really good shooter engine, and that's it. I don't care that EA has said, we should really be using Frostbite. I don't care. Pony up the money. Get Unreal Engine 5. I mean, seriously, guys, it's going. With Unreal Engine 5, Mass Effect 5 would be spectacular.
It would. Oh my god, it would be amazing.
But stop being cheap bastards. Pony up the money.
You ask EA to stop being cheap bastards?
They might have to sell like 5 companies to find the money for it, but
I
they're
know.
good at closing down studios, so...
Yeah.
Does anyone else kind of feel like BioWare is sort of, this is like our, like, I don't know. I feel like there's been some internal discussions at EA, like, okay, they fucked BioWare's, like, these executives at EA that are completely, like, disillusioned to anything going on below them, right? Like, they're like, okay, BioWare's put out 2 shitty games in a row. They both flopped. They made us no money, and they were critical failures. Does anyone else feel like Mass Effect 5 is sort of their last shot at making a video game before they get closed down?
I think Dragon Age 4 is their last shot. I was surprised that's even going ahead. I thought Anthem was their last shot.
Yeah.
But now they've put in so much promotional shit for Dragon Age 4, and of course they've got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I think Mass Effect Legendary Edition will sell amazingly either way.
Yes, it's going to win them back a lot of points, for sure.
If Dragon Age 4 is bad, then I think we can probably kiss goodbye BioWare. Mass Effect 5 might happen somewhere down the line, maybe with a different studio.
Yeah.
But BioWare would not last if they have another massive Andromeda / Anthem scale failure. I just don't see why EA would keep them around.
Yeah, honestly, I've been expecting the meme of BioWare being dumped into the mass grave of other studios pretty much since they got acquired by EA. And I'm honestly surprised. I am honestly surprised that Anthem, didn't lead to the click of a hammer being pulled back. But yeah, I'm thinking the Mass Effect Legendary Edition I think is a Band-Aid.
It definitely
it is a Band-Aid. It's something to buy time and maybe hopefully buy back a little goodwill. We'll see. But like Ree says, Dragon Age 4 is really going to be, I think, the make or break game.
Yeah.
If it works, cool. If it doesn't, Papa EA, what's that? Click.
Yeah. Why are we flying so high in the air? You didn't bring me a parachute.
Where you're going, son, you don't need parachutes.
Yeah. do we I think yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to concoct the title in my head right now for this episode, and I'm circling around Papa EA's Sandwich Rush. Okay, so are there enough ghosts? Are there any ghosts in this?
Not really, no.
Get some more in there.
Unless you want to count the occasional holographic recording of, murdered scientists, dead Protheans, and other aliens periodically, then yeah, kind of vaguely, sort of, in a very loose electronic sort of form, but actual ghosts, no.
Those are just ghosts from a philosophical sense.
Yeah.
And they were
All right,
cool,
well,
so more of them.
Sorry? Yeah. Get some more in there.
Check off the morgue.
Get some fucking force ghosts in there. I don't care. Who fucking cares anymore? All right, let's close out on let's go to our game for today. We're doing the sci-fi guys. So what I have here is I have some very famous sci-fi franchises. They are hopefully famous enough that you would know them, to at least know of them. But what I'm going to do, I have assembled a list of 5 characters, just a single name, like either a first or last name from that character, and I have them assembled in a list of more obscure to less obscure. So this is maybe our first competitive game, really. Basically how it's going to work is I'm going to say names slowly. If you think you know what this franchise is that contains these characters, you buzz in and you say what it is. If you're wrong, you're out.
Ooh.
How exactly do we buzz in?
Just say it's me.
Buzz.
You have to make a buzz noise.
Buzz. Yeah, you have to say the word buzz. I'm gonna score this one. I'm gonna track who wins each column here. All right. So, like I said, the first person is going to be the most obscure. Like, this name probably isn't going to help you, but as a collective whole, you might think, oh, I know where all these characters are from. They're from this thing. And just for a hint, these are all either movies or TV shows.
Okay.
All sci-fi. All right. Dodgson. Nedry.
And
Buzz?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, we got a buzz? Hey, all right.
I was thinking about buzzing after the first one, but I needed to hear a second name before I said it.
The next one was Woo, which I think would have probably gotten it for everyone. But yeah, wow, nice job on that. All right. Marvin. Skinhead. Strickland. Biff.
And
I got another one. You got it?
yes. Back to the Future.
Yes. Come on, what are you guys doing over there?
Okay. God.
Come on, guys. All right. Ted. Robin. Will. Erica. Nothing yet?
No.
Mike. Nobody. All right, here's the one that's the thing. 11.
Buzz.
Oh, Buzz.
Stranger Things.
Okay. I think Ree said the word buzz first.
Oh, really?
Hey!
I heard it after I said it. So, my bad. I'll let you call it out next time. I'm assuming that she would have said Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Just give that point to her.
Guys. Okay, I forgot. I didn't write Ree. I wrote the word buzz into the beginning column there. Jesus. Okay. Jones. Dozer.
And
Mal. Oh, all right.
The Matrix.
The Matrix. I think Axel might have this one. This game particularly down. Grace. Ashley. Becca. Annie. Billy. Think about this. I know at least one of you is very familiar with
I
this.
feel like I
this
might know
property.
it, but I need to wait.
Wait for what? That's all the names.
Oh!
Oh shit.
I'll go again. Grace, Ashley, Becca, Annie, Billy.
Okay, I'm gonna buzz.
All right. Do you have anything to say?
The boys?
Yeah, it is the boys.
Okay.
Fuck, really? Oh my god.
Yeah.
So fucking
was
obvious now.
Most reluctant buzz I've
That was
ever
really
heard.
stressful. Okay, I don't want to be wrong.
All right. Okay. Right now, by the way, the score is Ree 1, Kyle 1, Axel 3. So I need you guys to fucking pick it up.
Okay. Right.
Look, okay, we're trying here.
Parker, Ash, Kane.
Alien.
Yeah, it is Alien.
Fuck. Maybe I am like the baby of GameLuster. I'll concede.
Maybe. All right, let's try this one. Yasmin, Donna, River.
Buzz?
Okay.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Yeah, you got one.
Hey!
Hey.
Go on.
Next we had Amy and Rose, which I guess Amy Rose is sort of a Doctor Who tie to Sonic, and that's good.
Hey, another one. Second Sonic
Another
reference.
one. All right. Douglas, Enrique, Miles, John, Sarah. Yeah.
Terminator. Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Yes. It's specifically Terminator 2 Judgment Day. All right. I think that just let's see. Ree, if you get all the next ones right, you can tie.
Hey, is this
So I
can
have
work?
to steal one.
to sabotage her to make sure Axel wins. Okay. Steven, Caroline, Alpha, Rocket, Caesar.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes.
Never seen any of those. I would never have gotten that one.
I've seen fucking all of them. This is so bad.
Jesus. All right. Whatever.
It's like the same with Terminator. I've seen every Terminator film.
All right, we're at the last one here. Sylvester, Elsie, Maeve, Charlotte, Bernard, Is there a Bernard here?
It doesn't matter how slow you say it. It won't get through my mind.
Does that...
Westworld.
Westworld. Nice.
I've never seen that one. I'm gonna let myself off there.
The series is pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, it's an interesting reinterpretation of the original movie. Crichton might have liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Michael Crichton, by the way, was also the writer of Jurassic Park. He made the original movie Westworld, but he also, like, people I think criticized him at the time for just like calling Westworld like Jurassic Park again, but with robots.
Which is funny because Westworld came out first and then Jurassic Park.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think it's just like, I mean, like, he's known for Jurassic Park, right? So people are going to naturally compare anything he does to that.
Among others.
Turns out I'm not good at that kind of game, Nirav.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I guess not. Let's tally up the final score.
Oh no.
2, 3. Okay. All right. So in third place we have Kyle with 1 point. In second place we have Ree with 2 points, and in first place we have Axel with 7 points.
Stop the steal.
Stop the count. Okay, so let's close out. So thank you to Todd. George Lucas, I guess, was in this one again too, huh?
Dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Some familiar
I'm-
faces here.
Yeah. I see a lot of familiar faces in the podcast today. Yeah, so you can find us at GameLuster.com. We do lots of cool articles there. And you can also find us on YouTube.com/GameLuster, where you can see our cool videos. We have lots of stuff. I have been working, like I mentioned, on my Shadow the Hedgehog video very intensely the last few days, and it's sort of, I think, leaking into my brain. And humanity absolutely peaked in 2005 when this game was released. But yeah, I'm losing my mind because like I'm diving into like basically the basis of narrative structure and like all the components of like what a narrative is, and then talking about how Shadow the Hedgehog ignores and defies all of it. Like, it's incredible.
Are you scribbling on the walls with bodily fluids?
No, not yet.
Then you're okay.
Okay, but like the all the concepts, like conflict, the basic like conflict, the 3-act structure, like characters having goals and motivations and taking rational actions towards those goals. Like none of it applies to Shadow the Hedgehog. It's incredible. Like there's no climax, there's no rising action, there's no falling action. There's no choices, there's no consequences to those choices. It's
just a masterpiece.
Amazing. It's a masterpiece.
How do you have
transcendent
200 endings?
narratives.
How do you have 200 endings?
326 endings.
And no consequences in any of
Do
them.
not misquote the scriptures to me. I was there when it was written. Oh, God. You can find us on Twitter. I don't know why you'd want to. At GameBusters Pod.
Honestly, we're not this crazy on Twitter. Mostly.
No. My takes are restrained there.
We think before we talk
I only
on
post Sonic related content every other day.
If anything, I want to see more hot takes, y'all. Come on.
Oh, okay.
We'll step
we
up.
can do more.
Yeah.
What's the thing everyone likes? Fucking what do they like? They like Spider-Man. He sucks.
Do kids these days like Spider-Man still?
What do the kids like? I like Spider-Man a lot. So yeah, you can find us like I said on Twitter at GameBustersPod, and if you want to rate us on your app store of choice, that would be super cool if you could give us a good rating and review. That absolutely helps us with like discoverability. So if you are particularly on like the Apple Store, like if you're getting your podcast from there, like it 100% is like a huge benefit to us for visibility and stuff if you give us a good review. So yeah, we do some giveaways on Twitter too. I think we're gonna probably start up another one today actually. Still got some keys hanging around. So come find those there. Yeah, thank you to our guests. So Axel, you have any plugs for what are you working on right now?
Still getting ready for the Cyberpunk Red tabletop review. Definitely going to be getting our players together for a Critical Role style session through Night City, which will be
okay.
far less buggy than what CD Projekt Red put out.
I don't know. I'd be surprised, I guess, if this tabletop game is as buggy as the video game. So I hope it runs well. How many frames per second does it get?
Oh, that's
he's like, wow, the controls are really responsive in this.
See, if I was DM for that, I would be absolutely evil. I'd be like, you take a step, you fall through the world, you're dead. Bye. Next person.
Every time, yeah.
You take a step, you launch into the sun. You then launch back through the pavement, saying, "Wow, that was weird."
That's weird. Yeah. Kyle, what do you want to plug anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Just happy to be
how
here.
about this? Is there like a funny video you've seen recently you want to plug?
No.
Okay.
You exist for the sole purpose of GameBusters.
I'm gonna plug this. I'm gonna plug this really unknown podcast. It's called GameBusters.
Okay.
You should listen to it.
Actually, no, Kyle. We need to plug you know that video Ryan posts maybe like once every 6 months of like that like puppet talking to that guy in the park and the music's playing. What do you know what I'm talking about? Is like you're in my personal space. Like, you get in my personal space. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh God.
We watch this, like it comes up again every few months, and I always forget what it is or where to find it. but it is the funniest video
I
that's
blocked
ever
it out of
been
my
made.
memory, I think.
You might have. It's horrifying, but it's like probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, go search what I just said.
Yeah, those exact words.
Ree, what do you have?
Okay, well, GameLuster is going to be covering the Steam game sale soon, so check out for some previews of demos there. Also, I'm going to plug the same article I plugged last week, which was my opinion piece I did for Tech Raptor on what Fallout the Frontier could learn from Fallout New Vegas. I toned down my aggression towards the Frontier a little bit because they made some changes to the game that I liked. But still, people seem to be interested in picking apart the Frontier. So yeah, go check that out.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so you can, I guess that's about it. So, yeah, by the way, if you are interested in, us doing like a specific game, feel free to shoot us a tweet. That's what we tweet for. We're on there. So I think that's probably about it. Let's, I don't know, like we've been in this elevator for an hour and a half. Do you have some sort of like, who won, by the way? Was it Kyle?
Yeah.
That brought Stitch?
Oh,
Okay.
that was me, yeah.
That was you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. So Kyle, I know we've been in this elevator loading for a very long time. Could you please use some sort of catchphrase or incantation to break us out of the elevator?
Go team!
Hey, I love you.
That was for the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Right. If our team wins, things are going to be very good, but so help me if the other team wins,
It's gonna be bad.
they're going to be very bad.
I love the enthusiasm, guys. I can tell you really care about that sports ball.
What are the teams that are playing?
Oh, it's Tampa Bay against
The Chiefs.
yeah, Kansas City.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Kansas. You watch your ass, Kansas.
Kansas City.
Kansas City, which is located in Missouri, which I hate. That's true, by the way, Ree. I don't know if you know that.
What? Why? America's
Confuse
like,
people.
it makes sense that we have stupid names because we're like 1 billion years old. But over there, you guys are new. You got no excuse.
Sorry, I just remembered a thing in I know we're so far from the ending. In The Office, there was like the part where like Andy and Angela are like supposed to get married, and she's like trying to put off the wedding as long as she can, and she tells Andy like to find a wedding venue, but it has to be a castle and it has to be at least 1,000 years old, but also on the continental United States. And then he like starts trying to find a location like that, which is really good. Anyway,
so Kansas
I'm
City
sorry,
is
Kyle.
on the border of Missouri and Kansas. So
Yeah. All right.
kind of
Sorry,
in the-
Kyle. We really like took away the finality of that last phrase from you. Could you do something else for us quickly?
something. Oh God. I
Don't
spent
pretend
too
like
much-
Go Team was something you
I
prepared.
spent so
for a
long coming
time.
up with that first one. Okay, bye.
Are we free? Are we free from the elevator?
I'm really good at catchphrases, if you can't tell.
Okay, the recording is stopping. We're free.
Every time I watch like Full Metal Alchemist at the beginning, they're like, "This is equivalent exchange," and I'm like, "Yeah, why aren't scientists watching this? It's so easy."